Hey everyone, it's Peter Schwartz, Sports Bash at the Super Bowl on Radio Row, presented by TicketBash.com here in Las Vegas. I'll tell you, I'm seeing people here on Radio Row I haven't seen in such a long time, including this guy right here, who I used to work with at CBS Sports Radio, Brian Jones, who now works at CBS Sports Network, big college football guy, and obviously can talk a little NFL with us. It's good to see you, my friend.
Big Pete, it is great to see you, man. We had so much fun during those CBS Sports Radio days. I loved my 5 years there, and you were great to be around and pick on.
Yes,
and
especially the one time you screamed at me because I fell asleep in the newsroom, right? Hey, Peter, wake up, you got an update.
I was screaming at everybody, and I'm still screaming at everybody, man. But it was a fun time, and congrats, dude, on the new gig.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We got this launched in August, and some big things, and thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by. Tell us what you're up to these days. Obviously, you're all over the place with CBS and other things you're doing.
Yeah, college football is over, of course, so I've got a nice little off season ahead of me, not back in the studios until August. But I'm here, and my business partner, Kenyon Rashid, who's a former NFL player as well, Jets and the Giants, and unfortunately he played at my Longhorns' hated rival, OU, and somehow we became business partners. But we're here to discuss our partnership. Our company, Edge3.ai, has partnered with IBM Watson X Technology. They're going to power our platform's engine. We're developing a recruiting platform to help athletes make better informed decisions, as well as coaches make better decisions in targeting recruits. And so there's a vast amount of information, data that's out there, Peter, and we're aggregating all that information, and we'll house it on our platform and just allow athletes, their parents, and the coaches to go there and sift through as much data as they need to make better decisions. And we're hoping if you can make a better decision at the outset of this process, it'll mitigate some of the risks down the road. It will also lessen some of the turmoil and turnover you have with this transfer portal. Because it's just gotten out of hand. I'm for it. I transferred way back when. I started out at UCLA, transferred to the University of Texas. I took a pay cut when I transferred. The statute of limitations has been exhausted, so I can share that. And so we had NIL back then, too. It was just under the table.
How big was the table?
Oh, it was a huge table. Wasn't as big as some of these cats, man. They in the millions, man. We just got a phone bill paid or something like that.
I find this fascinating that you're doing this because, as you know, I have a son who's playing high school football, and he's graduating, and he's going through the recruiting process. He's going to be playing somewhere next year. What are the things that the athlete, the student athlete, and the parents, what are some of the pitfalls?
Let me turn that around. What questions have you been asking these recruiters? Because a lot of parents are not aware of what you should ask and how you query these guys. I wasn't when I was being recruited, because I got blown away with the bright lights and the big brands that were calling and showing up, sitting on our worn out couch. So I'm like, this is great. I really didn't know. It was a one-way conversation. We're trying to make it more of a two-way conversation because this is a huge business decision. So there are other variables aside from wins and losses and how many times you're on television or how many fans are showing up in the stands. You know, is this coach a right fit for me and my temperament? I may be a shy guy and this guy's a yeller. That ain't gonna work for me.
Well, see, I think the questions are different for the student athlete than they are for my wife and I. So, like, my son is gonna want to know: is he gonna play? Is he gonna get a good education? Is he gonna get along with the coaching staff? And I think for my wife and I, is my son gonna be happy? Are they going to take care of him? And how much is this going to wind up costing? Because not every kid gets a scholarship. You know, some kids will get some money, some kids will get some academic money, some kids may not get any money. So those are the different kind of questions I think that everybody.
Financial questions, of course, those are going to arise unless you're going to get a full scholarship. But I want to make sure I fit with the culture, and that coach needs to make sure that that kid fits into his culture and can assimilate and acclimate to their type of developing players. So it's a two-way street there. So there are questions that need to be asked. Also, if I'm a 5'6", 170-pound running back, Texas probably ain't going to call. So we need to manage expectations, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a window. Our Edge3.ai platform will give you a window into that position room. So now I can see who's in there that might be my size, might not, but I can see how they utilize their running backs. And I can look at all their stats, fine, but I want some historical perspective as well, so we can go back 5, 6, 7 years and show you. Then we can do comparative analysis.
Yeah.
Where a guy who's now in the NFL, we can take you and juxtapose your stats and metrics with this guy and tell you where you possibly could get. So we can project out. And so we just want to take all that information just out there and give it to you, and you can take as much as you want or as little as you want, but ultimately make a better decision about where you want to play ball, and as a coach, you'll be involved in a more efficient process, because they ain't got time to sift through all this information as well. And you got the models out there, the legacy models, he's a 5-star, he's a 4-star, all that's subjective, man. I need to know more than that. I want to know what type of kid he is. I want to know the background he has and how he plays or doesn't play well with others. Is he a leader? There are a lot of behavioral things I need to find out as well and assess, so I can make a well-rounded decision on whether or not this guy's going to work in my locker room.
What do you think about the state of college football right now? The playoff is going to expand next year. And listen, the winds of change are going through the coaching ranks. Nick Saban has retired. There's all kinds of other changes going on. You got coaches leaving teams that went to the playoff, and they're going to another team. So what do you think about where college football is now?
Part of the normal shifting of the plate tectonics in college football right now, and I think there's going to be more. Some of these the realignment that's going on, and now you got Cal and Stanford in the ACC. It doesn't make sense, and I don't think that will last for too long. But that's part of the landscape now, and that's why we need to wrap our arms around it. I figured it was going to be Wild Wild West when NIL came online. It's not being applied in the manner in which it was intended, and it's pay for play essentially, which I'm not for. I was a big proponent of NIL, but let's use it the right way. But there has been some leveling by the free market, because these collectives and shelling out all this money, it's not sustainable because there's no return on the investment.
Right.
Or how do we measure the return on investment? How do we measure conversions? You can't. Is it a national title? Is it a conference title? What is it? So there are some things that have changed there. I remember 2 years ago when NIL came online, and I was at SEC Media Days. Everyone was dressed to the nines, man. They got their Louis, their Gucci, their Christian. They had it on. This past year, maybe 3, 4, 5 guys at best that were wearing it. So the market has corrected, which it always does. And I think we're going to definitely have to get a czar. I suggest Saban. Make him the first collegiate football czar. He can bring all parties together. We got to find some uniformity.
ESPN's probably giving him more money to be on game day, though.
Yeah, well, that's fine, but he can still come in and help save the day, possibly.
Yeah.
But there needs to be uniformity at some point. Yes.
So we've got this little game going on here in Las Vegas this week. Let me start with let me start with this. We've talked about this with a lot of people here this week. Could you have ever imagined years ago playing that, number one, we'd have an NFL team here in Las Vegas, and number two, that the Super Bowl would be played right here?
Well, no, I couldn't envision Vegas becoming the sports epicenter. Or this has been crazy. First the Raiders, of course. You got the WNBA, the Aces, they're champions. You've got hockey, the Golden Knights, and then you got baseball heading here. Who would have thunk it? But that's how money has changed, and what has forced these leagues, whether it's the NFL, NBA, whether it's college as well, to move towards gaming is money. They're seeking different revenue streams. With college, NIL, man, we got to find a way to attract these players. We need every revenue stream under the sun to help keep our coffers stacked, because they're hemorrhaging from the rat race around facilities. Now it's how do we re-recruit players already in there and bring in a new bunch. So not surprised that they have finally come around. Remember, they would turn their nose up at fantasy football.
Yeah.
Especially NFL. And
it was
now,
taboo. It was all taboo.
Everything was taboo. Now they've all embraced it, and they understand there's dollars to be made because there's a different fan out there and there's a different consumption of their product. You have to take that into consideration as well. So if a lot of our fans are watching it on streaming services or they're watching it on FanDuel channel, the DraftKings channel, what have you, we got to go where they are. And these fans don't really have a team loyalty. It's my roster loyalty. And I got players on different teams, so I'm watching all this. So that's how assisted the game in growing to new heights, man. And I remember a couple years ago, you had all the turmoil around Black Lives Matter and this and the national anthem, which it wasn't intended to disparage. But everyone's the football's going away. The NFL is going to be hurt really. Man, they making more money than they can spend now. It's just a testament to the product and the players that are producing on the field and the sponsorship dollars that they're reining in from new money. That's what they've been able to find, that new money.
Who do you like Sunday? How do you size up the matchup?
I can't go past. I cannot go against Mahomes, man.
Yeah.
I'm going with Mahomes. I'm going to say KC 38-31.
I like it. By the way, let me end with this.
Okay.
One of the great moments that we shared at CBS Sports Radio. So I take my kids to sports memorabilia shows all the time. So we're at this memorabilia show on Long Island, and my son says, "Dad, what do you think of this package of University of Texas football star cards?" And I said, you never know who might be in there. You never know. We'll see what happens. So he buys the pack. We get home. He opens it up. He's flipping through it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, holy crap! It's Brian Jones.
That's back when I had muscles.
Yeah,
too.
when you had muscles and no gray hair.
Then.
And you were nice enough. I brought it into work, and you signed it. And we still have it displayed prominently in the house.
Cool, man. I appreciate that.
It was great to see you. Thanks for stopping
Always
by
great
for a few minutes.
Peter.
Yes, you're one of the all-time greats.
My man.
Brian
I love
Jones.
working with you.
Brian Jones, CBS Sports Network. It's Peter Schwartz, Sports Bash, here at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, presented by Ticketbash.com. Stay with us all week for more.